people, sons and daughters of Helghast. On this day, as our enemy ships burn away in orbit, as their bodies lie broken in our streets, we are once again reminded of the depths of their depravity.
You know, if there's anything I hate more than a Nazi, it's a goddamn space Nazi. Those are the worst. Space Nazi. That's right. You didn't play this, Jason. People, I'm joined here. Speaking of Nazis, I'm joined by Professor Jeff.
For Helghast. Good dog.
Oh, and I think that was the Murph, Jason Murphy.
Hey, what's up?
Got Kevin Baird. We haven't seen Kevin a lot, and all of a sudden he's coming back. We missed you, Kevin. So glad to have you back.
I can't follow up with the crazy voices. So
well, you already have a crazy voice as it is. It's crazy enough for all of us. And then back from the dead, we got Nicky Hodges, aka Nicky Pooh. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing much better, mate. Thanks.
You don't sound like it.
What's wrong with you?
Well, I just got out of hospital yesterday, so give me some time.
Now, Kevin said that you had ass cancer. Is that true?
He would say that.
I was kidding, man.
I thought you were serious. You gotta let me know, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like Nick's calling me up, telling me all his medical problems or something.
I don't know. You guys seem like good friends to me. Yeah, what was going on?
Nick, are you spelling your name Nikki after you get out of the hospital?
And right, piss take it. No, I'm not.
Okay. I just want to make sure I address you appropriately.
Yeah, man, are you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, yeah. I mean, just a bit weak, but doesn't stop me from playing, video games, so.
Yeah, you sound like you I'm back now. When are we going to record? And I'm like, are you sure you okay to record right now?
Yeah, no, I'm good, man.
Okay,
yeah.
Don't want you to, fall dead in the middle of this, all right? I mean, that's just unprofessional. Well, we've been waiting to get rid of that kid. So anyway, Killzone 3.
Good ratings.
So what did is it is it rude to ask you what you had? Is that private?
No, it was just something to do with my liver. So.
Drinking. Okay.
No. I wish it was. No. I think it was food poisoning or something. So I looked like Homer Simpson for a few days. I was like, what the fuck is going on with me? So.
All that fine pastas was doing it to you, man.
Hey, don't joke about bad livers, man.
Yeah. Well,
I had a bad form of hepatitis, so. But it's all good now. I'm back to health.
Damn, did you fuck Pamela Anderson? What do you mean? You had hepatitis?
No,
that's shared a needle with her.
Hepatitis A. I didn't have the one with needles or the sex or whatever. So.
Okay, all right. Well, you know what? We're glad to have you back, Nick. We were missing you too, and we got you back just in time to play a big game starting out 2011, which is Killzone 3. Now, I have not played any of the Killzone games. This is brought to you by Guerrilla Games, who are responsible for 3 other Killzone games. They have Killzone 1 and Killzone 2. And you're like, well, wait a minute, this is Killzone 3. How can they have 3 other games? Your math is crazy, Corey. Well, they had another, I think, Killzone for a portable system, right?
Killzone Liberation for the PSP.
Yeah, so There you go. Suck it, you motherfucker. No, so.
Were you the guy that played that?
Jeff? Because I don't think anybody else did.
I was the one who went to the retail store and bought that. And it was actually pretty fun. Nobody was really playing PSP at that time, but it's kind of like a dungeon, like a top-down dungeon crawler like Diablo, except you had a gun and a grenade launcher.
Gotcha.
Nobody was playing PSP at that time, as opposed to all the other times people are playing PSP?
So, yeah.
Yeah, Jeff was that PSP player at the time. What's so cool about this, though, is that this is an exclusive for the PS3. So all the PS3 players get to sit back and for a change yell fuck you to the Xbox players because they always get the cool exclusives. They got Halo, they got Gears of War, but you can't have this, you sons of bitches. Killzone is just for Killzone 3 is exclusive for the PS3. And like I said, I haven't played any of the other games. This is my initiation to the Killzone lore, trilogy, mythology, quadrology, whatever it is. And so I took a little time to catch up on the story, which this story here, at least the back history leading up to this, it centers on 2 warring groups of humans. Now you have the ISA, and they're the badass soldiers and all around great guys and defender of all things good in the galaxy. And then you have, well, I don't know, man. That's what they seem like. I don't know.
You
who these guys
could
are.
simplify it even further and just say the ISA are the Americans and the Helghast are the Cockney Brits. Because
Are they Brits though? Because listen, you know,
they're Cockneys. They're absolute 100% pure blood Cockneys. That's what the Helghast are.
and as we know, Cockneys are villains, by all means, anyway. So.
Well, kind of like in Star Wars, how all of the Imperial forces have British accents and everyone else is American or alien or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you have a British accent, then that means you're a villain. Nick is a villain. Nick kills people when we're not hanging out with him because he has a British accent. Whenever he comes...
I've got a posh British accent, so I'm the one who's giving the orders. All the tough British guys are always Cockney. So they're the football hooligans.
Whenever Nick comes to Austin to hang out for any kind of spill events, Nick walks into the room with a cape, like black boots on. He's got people playing his dark theme when he walks into the room. And Nick has like the waiter brings his order wrong, and Nick says, "Destroy this man, have him killed." And they take him off. You never see that guy again. So yeah, it is like that.
Somebody doesn't draw this. It's a damn crime.
Please, we won't
make me look like that guy from Spaceballs. You know, Darth.
Yeah. We want Nicky Poo, the Dark Lord. Yeah. So, but you are Nick. You're right that. These are villains with British accent, and they are the second factor of humans here called the Helghast. And you know that they're villains because of the name like that, Helghast. And you say that they're British, but come on, you know, they encompass a lot of things. They're like fucking Euro trash, fatsy, new wave, haircut wearing space Nazis, and they're hell-bent on destroying every fucking Jew in the universe, along with everybody else. So
make them sound like Flock of Seagulls or some 80s band. I'm picturing them with like neon rubber necklaces and
yeah,
their hair all spiked up in some sort of, like they're singing, "You spin me right round, baby, round, round."
They are.
Pretty much. Haven't you seen the leader's haircuts? You know, they're all like gelled and looking ridiculous. There's even a guy with an Adolf Hitler mustache.
Yes, I was going to say. I mean, they are, man. They're a cross between like Nazis and, I don't know, Freddie Mercury, or, you know, any gay guy, village people, any gay guy that likes to wear leather. You know, they're gay guys in leather that like to kill Jewish people. And they're out in space. I mean, they are very Euro trash.
So does that mean that the ISA is space Jews? Is that what you're saying?
Well, you know, I guess a Nazi hates everybody except like a white person. And you kind of have that with the ISA. You got like a guy who's like, has a Puerto Rican name or a Hispanic name, but he's black. But, you know, we'll get into that a little bit later, because with these guys right here, they are very Euro trash. You're right, Nick. There's one guy who, it's not enough for him to even have a Hitler mustache. This fool has to have a half black, half white Cruella de Vil made out of a Dalmatian Hitler mustache. I mean, really, we're telling you this story, and why I'm telling you all this is because when I played this, I'm watching this and I'm thinking, oh shit, you know, I'm gonna have to go and catch up on all the history of Killzone. Oh no, I'm not, because this is fucking stupid. So,
yeah, it can basically be summed up at like Killzone 1, Helghans invade Vecton, and Killzone 2, the Vectons invade Helghan, and Killzone 3, they're still there.
And
that's it.
And on the ISA side, now, because of course you're not going to play a space Nazi, you're going to play the good guys, and in this one you play Sev. He's a soldier in the ISA who has some dark past behind him. I don't know. Like I said, the story is terrible because
of course he does.
Yeah, this is a shooter. All right,
so that soldier from the ISA.
He doesn't even have a dark past. He's just a generic guy. Like he's no personality whatsoever.
Where was the dark history part from? Because I've played Killzone 1 and 2, so I don't remember.
I don't know. They went in, and I figured that they went in and like maybe made things worse because they burst in and fucked with the wrong space Nazi. So because when I caught it, it's like Sev is arguing with Rico, the guy that I just described as being the I don't know, black Puerto Rican Mexican guy. I don't know, but apparently they knocked off some high ranking Helghast, and so now they're not only having to fight the Helghast, but there's turmoil within the ranks of the ISA. And it doesn't really matter.
This is the end of Killzone 2, as Visari was the, space Hitler, and Rico offs him and he's not supposed to, and that was the end of Killzone 2.
Okay.
Killzone 3 picks up 1 second after that.
I think Corey added that whole dark backstory to Sev from part of his. He added that on his Killzone fan fiction site.
Killzone
/fic. Let's take it to another level where Sev and Rico make out.
Dude, Sev and Rico want to make out. Every time you die in that game and Rico says, "I'm not going to lose you," and runs up to heal your ass.
Oh, he not only does he run up to heal you, but then when he heals you, he's like, "Stay on my tail." So apparently they were fucking each other before he got shot, which is why they always getting killed in the game. Yeah, it's like, it's the greatest bromance since that in what was that Top Gun movie? So whatever.
Fast and the Furious.
Yeah. So listen, as we're telling you about this story, as you can see, I even I tried to make this guy darker just so he'd be a little more interesting, because the story it's not that good. I mean, it sounds
like just some bullshit paperback sci-fi, like a Warhammer 30K novel or something that was written for 13-year-olds. It just sounds like you can replace the names with any other made-up crazy sci-fi sounding name, and it'll be just like any other sci-fi book.
It is. I mean, that's exactly what it is.
I think that it had a little bit better story than the first two of them, because the first two, the whole story was just like, we're going to go kill all these guys. And in this one, after the beginning of the game, there comes a point where the story kind of changes a little bit, and it gets a little bit better than the first two. But what did you
think that was so good about this story here that separated it from the other two games?
Okay, well, spoiler alert for anybody who cares, but after that initial, everybody's trying to get off of Helgen. All the ISA are trying to evacuate, and at one point, at the end of kind of the first act of the game, Sev and Rico and Colonel Narville, whoever that guy is, and a bunch of the ISA guys get trapped on the Helghast planet, and then it turns out that the Helghast and the ISA sign a peace treaty, and that those guys trapped on Helgen are all supposed to surrender themselves and get worked out through this space treaty with the space Nazis. And they are like, "No, dude, we've seen what they do to people when they surrender. They shoot them with green lights and then their heads explode." So,
you know what? You did have a point there, because throughout the story, and we'll get to the gameplay in a little bit, because throughout the story, they play with time. So the game opens up with you on the on the Helgen base, and you're infiltrating. You do that whole thing of knocking out two soldiers or killing them, and then you don their costumes. So you're infiltrating their base, and you get to go in and see all the cruel shit that they do to their prisoners, man. And these are some cruel motherfuckers. And that's one of the things about the game that I would say. I'm not interested in the story, but I mean, hey, who doesn't hate a Nazi, right? And what's worse than a Nazi is a space Nazi. So you really want to go in and kill these guys because you see all this horrible shit that they do.
For years we have suffered unbearable hardships, banished by our enemies to die from disease, from famine. They scarred us, they weakened us, but that time has passed.
So outside of that, though, I don't think that there is much to it. I mean, and really they know that. I mean, they try to build a story behind it, but once you start playing the game, whether it's an engrossing story or not, the gameplay takes a front seat to anything else. And what's that? Go ahead.
I was just going to say the biggest problem that I've had with the entire Killzone series is that from the Helgen perspective, we have never seen anybody on this planet who is not a fully armored up space Nazi with a gun or an evil guy with a big mustache, like spidering his fingers together, making plans about how to destroy all of humanity. We've never seen little Johnny Helghast and Mommy Helghast, sitting at the dinner table. Pass the potatoes, Mom.
Like a Rockwell painting, except for these space Nazis.
So they've all got gas masks on with glowing red eyes.
Yeah, we don't get to see the Hitler Youth of Helgen or anything like that. So.
I mean, I would have settled for just two guys what do you want to do after this, Jim? I don't know. Let's get a beer and watch wrestling.
And these guys are all I think that some of them are even Australian. They go for any kind of accent that they can to make them different from the ISA. You hear guys pushing guys around. Or are you the executioners over there? And they're everybody talks the same. It's almost like clones from Star Wars. They're all Boba Fett. But anyway, as for the gameplay here, listen. Like I said, story to me, it didn't matter because the game moves along so fast and you only get chunks of story in cutscenes. It's not when you put it all together, it's very thin. And I don't mind that. In a shooter, you just want to keep going, keep the pace up. And that's great, which brings me to the stuff that I really like about this game. Now, when we get into gameplay here, we're going to cover different areas. I think Nick and I are going to cover the campaign of the game. We have Jeff, who's going to cover the campaign, but using like the Sony Move, and you had the gun, that big rifle with the bubblegum ball at the end, right?
The sharpshooter.
Yeah, and then we have Kevin, who's going to do the multiplayer of it. So I'm going to go into the single player campaign. Oh, and I also did co-op too. So what I liked about the game here, look, say what you will about the story, it is a great looking game. I mean, everything is fucking big. It's like just a lot of spectacle around. Either you're on some war-torn planet with junk everywhere, or you're fighting with or fighting inside of a large mech, or you're fighting in the middle of some space battle. There is never a lack for something visually interesting that's happening. I love the feeling of the combat in the game. I mean, you do get a feeling of being in the middle of war. Like most shooters these days, especially military style shooters, a lot depends on the strategy of taking cover or flanking your enemy. And that's the same thing that they do here. And the feeling you get of war is that there's always noise and death and screaming and explosions going on behind you, all around you. It's like, there's some guy just fucking screaming beside you because he's been hit. You got another guy screaming orders at you, get up and move, soldier. And, in the middle of it, I just start screaming because everybody else was like, ah, so that is great that they keep that chaos going on.
Rico, hold me.
They shooting. So that is great. And then while the characters are bland, like I said, I like killing Nazis because they're just so fucking mean in this game. But there was great voice work, notably by Ray Winstone as Admiral Orlok. Yeah, his name is Orlok. And then you have Malcolm McDowell, who would do anything for a fucking check these days. But
no shit. It seems so. He does everything.
That dude will come over and paint your house if you give him enough money. And he was great as the main villain in this game, Jordan Stahl. And I love that villain because, where most villains try to have some dignity behind them, they try to be regal. They walk around, call the troops, seize them. There's one point where they say, sir, what about our man? He looks at them and says, fuck him. And I'm just like, all right, I can get behind that guy, What I did not like about the campaign that I played is that outside of the beautiful graphics, and this is still a standard shooter, all right? I mean, you run, you shoot, you take down a big fucking robot-looking machine, and then when you stop doing that, they have some set pieces. And even the set pieces that we see in this game are starting to get stale for a lot of space shooters. I mean, recently we've seen a lot of either you go into like a vehicle and you have to shoot people pursuing you, or you have to shoot tanks, or you have to get into like a spacecraft and you have an air battle. While they look good, I've seen them all before. So
yeah, everybody's starting to cannibalize everybody else. I mean, I guess it's not really something that's new behavior in the gaming industry, but it's especially with first-person shooters, you're starting to follow the same template for every single game.
Yeah, man.
They even ripped off Modern Warfare here, where they had the whole level where you're walking around, you have to be stealthy and shoot guys without being seen. That was like that sniper mission in Modern Warfare.
And that's another thing that I was going to complain about. You're supposed to be stealthy in the game, and I got lost at one point because I was trying to be quiet, and I just got tired. Out of anger, I just shot some guy in the head because I was about to put the controller down. I shot him in the head. Nobody fucking looked. I was like, "Pacow!" You heard it, and everybody's like, Nobody looked to see who I just killed, and I realized, oh, okay, I got to take everybody out with a headshot. If I can't sneak up on them in stealth mode and slit their throats, like gouge their eyes out, and I was just like, that's not very stealthy, but okay, whatever. It's still a fun level here.
Maybe they were just like, oh, that's just Rodney. He totally had it coming.
Hated that guy anyway. We're going to give him a blanket party tonight, but fuck it.
Right. I think he had some Jew in him.
Let's see. Yeah, his last name ended in Berg. But let's see. Now we have a lot of boss battles in this game. And this is the thing that I'm not liking about games with a lot of spectacle. I mean, there's so many levels. I like this better than something like Call of Duty because I thought that it went it didn't go a little bit longer. It did go longer. It went longer than that game and never gave me any lack of environments. I mean, like I said, I mentioned like junk and military stuff, and you know, you get to have these space battles, but there you get to go to a jungle, and it made you feel like you really are on an alien planet. The plants attack, the insects attack, and I thought that was cool. But because they're giving you so much of this visual spectacle, everything feels like a climax in this game. By the time you get to the actual climax of the game, not only is it a letdown, it feels like the less of everything you've seen before. It's done. They gave you the lousiest boss battle, climax, last battle, whatever you want to call it. Because I blew up something. I was like, oh shit, I know they're about to bring some big shit now. It's on now, and it was on. The credits started rolling. I was like, really? That's it? And it is a terrible, terrible ending to this game. And I think
just like with any movie, you've got to pace that stuff. You know, you got to have none of your mini climaxes in the story need to be better than the one after it.
You are right about that.
It has to get progressively better.
And see, in the game, the middle of the game are kind of like near the end. I think it's the chapter before the last chapter, and because there's 9 chapters in this game. In chapter 8, you have this big battle with this giant, huge, 20-story size mech. And
the Mauler,
yeah. And you take it down with ease. All you do is just keep running. That's all. You just run. And I can do that easy. I do that in real life. So, you know, it's like you just fucking run and it's down. Not only was that a great looking boss, but it was too easy to beat. And they should have made it harder and put that at the end of the game, maybe. I had a better battle at the end of the game. So, I guess my last complaint here is, that dude Rico. I can't tell. I don't like that I can't tell if he's black or Hispanic. Cause there's one point in the game where he's got a close cut haircut and you're thinking, oh, he's Hispanic. But then later that brother comes out with the biggest afro. It's just poofy. And I'm just like, damn, you mean to tell me out of all this space age technology, nobody could give this Negro a comb? It's like, well, unless he's hiding weapons in that hair, this is unnecessary right here. All right.
In the future, they actually ship all of the black people off to Puerto Rico.
Okay. All right. That explains everything. Cool.
That's in my Killzone /fiction.
In your fiction?
Yeah.
I thought that was your just plans for black people in the future when you become Hitler. So,
I can't grow a mustache like that. I've tried.
It's okay.
I can't do it.
We'll get you a Sharpie marker. It doesn't matter. It's all the same.
Awesome.
Yeah. But okay. So that's my viewpoint on the campaign. Co-op. I can tell you a lot about the co-op. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm more of a co-op than a multiplayer type person. I like playing with friends, either online or even better, sitting in the room with them. I just like working with people. And co-op, I mean, it's the same thing as a single player campaign, except you're playing with a friend. And the weird thing about it is that there are 2 Sevs. Because, you know, Sevs is buddies with Rico, and you're following Rico around. So Rico is yelling at 2 of you, and both of you playing the same character. At least that's the way I saw it. So it's Sev and his clone that you're playing. You don't get to play with the character.
That sounds like Rico's wet dream right there.
Yeah, they're going to make a Rico sandwich.
No, when I was playing it was weird because the other guy wasn't Sev. He was just like some generic, like Indian, like Native American guy. And then every time they go to a cutscene, he was gone. And it was like, you spend the entire goddamn game with Rico. Why can't the other person be Rico? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you don't ever see the guy's face. So, I mean, that's just, come on. It's just it's a way to get around having to do more programming, more assets. So they just decide to it's easy to put text on the screen with a Native American name or Indian name and then not show you the guy in the cutscene. So that's, whatever. But it's a fun co-op play if you like playing co-op.
What happens if you look at each other when you're playing?
You don't. You cancel each other out. The guy's wearing a mask. I don't know. He's wearing a mask that looks like you. So, I don't know. I don't think when you look at, what does? That's a good question. Now I'm fucking confused.
Well, I played it with a friend of mine in split screen, and when you look at the other guy, he looked like a different guy. Like he wasn't Rico and he wasn't Sev. He was some other guy, some other ISA trooper. And then just every time you go into a cutscene, he just magically vanishes, and the only people in the cutscene are Sev and Rico.
So
weird.
Do you agree with me that it's the same thing as playing like the solo campaign, except you're just playing with a friend? I mean, it's fun, but it's nothing different. It doesn't add anything to the gameplay except a little more firepower. But even then, I didn't really know so much of a difference. It's fun if you like the single player campaign. You have fun with the co-op. But Kevin,
it makes it easier.
Yeah,
quite a bit easier.
Now, Kevin, wake up. Let's hear about this. Let's hear this multiplayer. You play multiplayer.
Well, the multiplayer is really good. The controls are a lot tighter than they were before in 2, and I think that the connectivity of the game is pretty good. I'm not big into PlayStation 3 multiplayer because it's always that weird thing where you got to go over and send messages to each other and that weird thing first and all that, and then you got to get into the game and try and connect. But here you get a clan, and you can talk to everybody with your headsets in the clan, assuming everybody has a headset, because that's another issue with the PlayStation 3. Not everybody has one. Then you got the guy that types really slow. And then you get in, and there's basically 3 different modes. There's the war zone mode, which is the 24-player skirmish mode that happens over like 7 rounds. It's a fairly large, battle between the ISA and the Helghast, and it's a lot of fun. It's really feature packed. Be prepared that when you first start playing that you're going to die again and again and again. Because there's a point system. As you rank up, just like a lot of these other games, as you rank up, you get points, and then you can unlock certain things like body armor or a secondary weapon, and then they have like some extras, like the engineer can build turrets, and the medic has like a flying robot that can help him, heal people, and sometimes it helps him fight. And there's a wide variety of characters and everything, and then there's a shorter mode, though, called Guerrilla Warfare, which is just for, like, your standard team deathmatch. It's, 10 minutes or something. You just go in and battle it out, which is a lot of fun. It's easier that way. And then you got the last one, which is really kind of cool, has it's called Operations, which has these full-motion video segments where it actually shows, like, your name, like your PSN ID above different guys in the full-motion video segments, and then it explains the missions that you're supposed to do. So if you're like ISA, you might have to protect something from the Helghast, and or vice versa, and you kind of roll through a variety of different missions through the story mode to see if you can actually complete it. Otherwise, they just show you getting assassinated or falling off a mountain or something, depending on how you die with your name on it. It's really kind of fun. It's actually really well full-featured, and the whole point system makes it really addictive to sit there and continue to rank up and keep playing. Because even if you suck, you know that if you just keep trying and keep going, you'll get some points, and then eventually you rank up and you get more stuff. You get a secondary weapon or better stats, etc. So,
or you'd be like Jeff and just walk out the room all pissed off and just scaring the shit out of everybody.
You had to go there.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna leave Jeff alone. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. It's just that's it. Really, it's really fun. I mean, it stands on its own 2 feet. The connectivity on it was really good. I mean, the only downside, versus say playing a game on Xbox again, is that you may have guys on your team but they don't have microphones. And one of the problems is that in this game there's like a spy type of guy that you can play, which somebody looks just like one of your guys, but then they come up and stab you in the throat. And it's easier if you were on a microphone because you would be like talking to them. You would be like, hey, Green 612, are you on my team or something? You know what I mean? But there's like no answer because you don't know the guy on your team's not talking. So there's a lot of just if you see somebody, you just shoot them. You shoot first, ask questions.
Oh, I know you.
So that third mode, is that like the Special Ops in Modern Warfare 2?
Right, I think so. Yeah, I didn't play the multiplayer in Killzone 2, but that's what they say is that it's a lot like it. Right? It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's fun to see your guys getting executed or with your names on there and everything. It's pretty great the way they put it all together.
Hey, did anybody play that mode called I forgot what it's called, Bot Battle? Something
the bot match?
Bot, yeah, I played that. I thought that was kind of boring, though.
Yeah, it's just multiplayer with single-player multiplayer, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I thought it was kind of dull. I played for about an hour, and I got bored really quick.
Wait, so it's multiplayer, and you don't have some 14-year-old who's better than you telling you how much of a fag you are? That sounds awesome.
I kind of miss being called nigger, all the time and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of found myself missing that kid. So I was lamenting, little tear.
There's no racism on online multiplayer on the Xbox. What are you talking about? I haven't had one person call me a stupid cracker.
I do it all the time. What are you talking about? We should play online more. No, I played that. And, I don't know. It just seemed kind of routine. It's as much as I don't like multiplayer, I kind of felt like, wow, I really do need like real people playing this with me. But whatever. It's kind of a throwaway aspect of the game. Nick, what do you think about this? You played this game.
Yeah, no, I quite liked it. I mean, like what Jeff was saying before, how the story has improved from the last 2 games. I think one of the reasons it's improved is because there are more locations. Because from what I remember from the other 2 games, it was always in an urban city. You know, and it got really boring after a while. So in this one, the fact that you can be in mountains and in the jungle and other places, I really enjoyed that. The melee kills were bloody awesome, I thought, because you're running up to the guys and you're stabbing them in the eye, you're eye gouging them, and like these various different things. And I thought that was pretty wicked.
Yeah, those were a lot of fun. It got to a point where. Did you get crazy in the game where you just kind of got swept up like in the violence and you just ran up on a guy like and you just attacked him because you just wanted to see yourself like break his neck or gouge his eyes out?
Bloodlust on.
Yeah, exactly, bloodlust. Yeah, because I got nuts in the game. I just running up on people because I just wanted to see myself just choke the shit out of them. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we making predator noises in the jungle like.
But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, Nick. See, he just dropped dead. Nick. Did Nick really fucking
I'm not gonna lose you, man.
Steal my tail. Nick. Okay.
Nick?
Well, Nick did say he liked the game, I was guessing, so I'll just fill in the rest of the review for him. Nick enjoyed it very much, and he would rent this game, but probably would not buy it because, he's not. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what happened to Nick, but anyway. I myself, being that I played the single-player campaign and a little bit of co-op and did not really play the rest of the game, I got through this game so fast and had a great time with it. I really do like this game a lot. Had a great time with it. But I played this game roughly in a day and beat it. I thought it was a little bit easy on normal mode. Boss battles are nothing in this game. They're easier than the rest of the game. They're it's fluff. And I thought it was a disappointment at the end. But if I had rented this, I would have had a great time. But that's just from the single player aspect of the game. From a multiplayer, I don't know, Kevin.
I think it's a multiplayer. It stands on its own 2 feet. It's really fun. There was a lot of guys in there that were comparing it to Call of Duty and saying that they liked it better when we were playing. And it loads a lot quicker than the second one supposedly did. Like I said, I didn't play it. And it's just really full-featured. It's just... They had a lot of fun. I mean, it's not mag or anything. It's not 500 people running around. I mean, it's your standard, 24 people in one thing going, but it's free. It's PSN. It's free to get online and play, so it's a good time.
Oh, and Jeff, you didn't talk about the move aspect of this. What did you think?
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. How did that work exactly?
Well, it's kind of strange. I started out. I played the demo when it came out with just the straight PlayStation Move controller because I figured I bought a PlayStation Move controller. This game supports it. Everybody else can be playing with the controller. Might as well check it out. And it's strange because you use the navigation controller like you would your left stick and your left hand to strafe and move around. But then you have the cursor that you point at the screen with the Move controller, and to turn, you actually push that cursor all the way to the edge of the screen before you'll start turning, which is strange. Like, it doesn't feel right when you first start doing it. But then Sony has created this crazy-ass plastic submachine gun that you basically plug the PlayStation Move controller and the navigation controller into. And you hold the whole thing like a gun and you point it at the TV. And it's kind of, it works. It feels a little better just because you're not tilting your wrist like a remote control. You're just, shooting like a gun. And to be honest, Killzone is probably the best way that this kind of gameplay would work out because they map the cover button to this little button on the handle that's right underneath your trigger. So basically because movement is really awkward, you run up to a piece of cover and you hold down this button and get behind it, and then you hit the iron sights button, and then you can move the sights all over the screen. So, it's not like normally when you're playing a first-person shooter, you have to get the guy right in the middle of the screen in order to shoot him. But in here, if the guy is a little bit to the right, you just point the controller a little bit to the right, you can shoot him in the head, do whatever. And it took a little getting used to, but once I did, it was pretty fun.
Jesus, I got dizzy just hearing that description, man. Yeah. I got vertigo right now.
I played the with Move as well, and I played like the training in the beginning a little bit, and then in the multiplayer, just forget about it. The multiplayer. You're just getting your ass handed to you.
Oh yeah. And there's an aim assist in the single player where whenever you zoom in, it'll lock you onto the enemy and that's on by default, and that actually makes the game really, really easy. But you can't do that in multiplayer. I can't imagine any scenario where that would be a valid control scheme for multiplayer.
What about the 3D? Did anyone?
Where the fuck you coming from? You're just gonna walk in the room, not even explain anything, or just gonna come in asking questions.
Your flow. sorry. But the 3D was meant to be like a big part of the game. Like they hyped it up.
This is the part. This is the game where they simultaneously. This is a first. It's released for the Move and 3D at the same time. I guess nobody played the 3D part on this. Nobody got to see like Rico kissing you when he thought you were dead, trying to revive you in 3D. Get up, man. Nobody's looking. So
that's going to be in the DLC. Necrophilia.
The Rico kiss. Downloadable content.
I'll tell you though.
So would you have to have like a 3D TV in order to do that, or how does that work?
Yeah, you do. I think.
Okay. What were you gonna say?
Dumb enough to buy one of those? I mean, really?
No one here.
Something I wanted to ask you guys about though, the people, Corey and Nick played the single player.
If you die, I'm not going to make out with you, Jeff.
Oh, come on! I thought we had a deal.
We thought we had a thing. What were you gonna say?
Well, so the game starts and you're playing that sequence where you're dressed up like a Helghast dude.
You're talking about at the very beginning, right?
Very beginning, right?
Yeah.
And then later on in the game, when you're playing, you come back to it's like you start there, and then it does a little thing, and then it's like 6 months earlier, and it starts you back at the beginning of the game, and then you play the game up to the point where you get back to that same sequence. But the sequence totally changes when you get back there.
Well, because you don't do the training stuff.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense.
I saw that, and believe me, I just said, fuck it. I'm not going to even ask questions. Why at this point?
It was so strange.
Because it would have been a pain in the arse, though. It's like, fuck, I know how to shoot. I've just killed like thousands of them, so I don't need to go to the rifle range again.
I guess that whole thing that and the fact that Sev felt the need to whip the fucking mask off of his face before killing the supreme dictator so that he could fucking run away. That whole sequence just pissed me off.
Yeah, the guy's fucking cocky, man. Like, they could have just easily kept on the mask and did what they had to do, but he had to take it off and show like what a badass he is. And he was like he's trying to just have like badass dialogue too much, because one of the villains, he's like, wait a minute, it's you. And he's like, yeah, it's me. Like, fuck you, man.
You need a snappier one-liner for that.
Yeah,
it's just like me, and everybody else is like, God damn it, you just fucked it up for everybody.
How does he know who he is, though? I can't remember if they met before, but he was like,
he can smell a Jew
from a mile away.
He meant to say, it's Jew.
It's Jew. Jewy yet? So there you go, people. Overall, I think the consensus is that this is a fun game. Multiplayer is fun. Single player campaign is fun. Co-op, the move works. The only thing we're missing here is 3D, and ain't nobody gonna go out and buy a fucking 3D TV just to tell you about that. So
as soon as you let me expense one, I'll be right there.
Oh, you want to write that off? You go ahead. I want to be there when you do it. See somebody slap the shit out of you. So listen, folks, I think it's a game that if you are in the multiplayer and you like the single player campaign, you're getting a lot here. So you're going to get a full price game for that. If I can speak for everybody else, but I think that if you are playing the single player campaign and you're not into multiplayer, it's a game that you can get on, I don't know, GameFly, or you can rent it or whatever and get it back if you play hard enough in a couple of days, because you'll be done. And it's really not that big of a payoff once you're done on single player. So that's it. Anybody got anything to add to this before we're done?
No, that covers it.
I think that's about it.
Yeah. Okay, I had to go over to Jason's place because he's going to pack me in a crate and ship me off to Puerto Rico. So if you'll excuse me.
We're going to do this right. We're going to wait until the laws are passed and everything.
But it's nice and legal. I hear you.
Yeah, you got a good 9 months.
Oh, thank you. You're so generous, you cracker, you.
For years we worked away on empty stomachs, slowly rebuilding our strength, our pride, and our nation. But that time has passed. All these years, I have been humbled by the honor to lead you ever onwards. From this day till the end of days.